So this is Greg with Lionquestfitness, and today we're going to be talking about my own personal plan for home self-defense. It may be different from yours, and that's fine. And I'm going to explain some of the reasons behind what I do. First off, I have small children in the home. I have grandchildren who often visit and stay with us. Every one of my firearms stays in a locked compartment, a locked cabinet, except whatever firearm I have on my person or the firearm that I put by my bedstand. And when this goes out of the gun cabinet, or whatever I'm carrying goes into the gun cabinet. Now, this is a Smith & Wesson Model 64 called Cochise. This is my favorite handgun. I have the Altamont grips, Tyler T. As you can see, it has the infamous Hillary hole. Do not hold it against this gun because this is a nice shooting revolver. Okay, so Greg, why not a modern striker-fired pistol like this Glock 19? And it has been cleared, no magazine in the gun. So why not something like this? Well, it's like this. I like being able to grab and go. The last thing I want to do, and see, you know, I'm a light sleeper, but I'm not 20 and 30 like I used to be decades ago. When I get up, I might be awake, but my eyes are blurry, my muscles don't move as fast, and it's harder to move and move quickly. The last thing I want to do is to rack the slide on a semi-auto to charge it and not do it adequately where that cartridge or the next one jams the gun. So if it's a nightstand gun, why don't you charge it and leave it on the nightstand? This is where we go back to small children in the household. I would not want one of them to getting hold of a charged firearm, even if it has a safety. So what about a 1911? Now it's the same thing as the striker-fired pistol. You have to charge it to be able to use it. However, a 1911 has some safety features that did cause me to consider it for a while, especially since I believe that 45 ACP would make an excellent home defense round, because being slower and heavier, it's not going to penetrate walls and doors quite like a fast-moving 9mm, which is much lighter and much faster. But let me charge this. Now you have a safety, and you also have a grip safety that this has to be disengaged and this has to be engaged before you pull that trigger and it will fire. So there are some features here that might make it a fairly good nightstand personal defense implement. But the problem is, it's still got to go back into the safe in the morning, and you have to disarm the gun. And there's always that possibility, your faculties not being completely alert, that you may have a negligent discharge. Okay, what about a modern day sporting rifle? And I want to link down below a very good video by Masad Ayub where he actually recommends a modern sporting rifle as a personal self-defense implement in the home, especially for females. The one thing that you need to be cognizant of is penetration, going through walls and doors, and making sure you have an appropriate ammunition that might not do that as much. Now for me, you know, this is locked in the gun cabinet. If I need to get it, I have to unlock the gun cabinet, I have to insert magazine, I have to charge this firearm. And the way I look at it, this is my secondary self-defense implement. It's got to be really bad for me to have to go for this firearm. And I need to affix a light to this personal defense implement. And that brings me into my next subject. Because this isn't exactly what you would do as a law enforcement officer or military, but it is what I do when I'm checking my home and I have other family members in other parts of the home. And that is, I keep a low profile. I don't have a problem shining a flashlight in somebody's eyes and putting a light on somebody, but the last thing I want is to point a firearm at a family member. And once again, let me reiterate, what if you have an elderly relative who has Alzheimer's? What if you had a son coming in and trying to get in past curfew and climbing through a window? You know, there could be 101 different things that it could be completely legitimate for those sounds and noises you hear at 3 o'clock in the morning. And the last thing I want to do is point a firearm at a family member. So what about plan B? What if I don't have enough rounds to neutralize the threat? Well, by that time, my wife has called 911 and has retrieved her personal defense implement out of a conveniently stored lockbox that is secure from little hands. So I've covered a lot of material today in a very short amount of time. People write books about this, but I hope I've given you some ideas. You know, let me know what your plan does not have to be my plan. Your plan is based on your circumstances, your surroundings, what threats you might run into, and what people live in your home. You know, there's all kinds of factors to consider. So let me know what your personal self-defense plan is. And this is Greg with Lionquest Fitness.